Hi guys, and welcome to this Geography IB level option A video where we look at the hydrological impacts of deforestation. SDG targets here that you can link to are 13.3, building knowledge and capacity to meet climate change, and also SDG 15, life on land. So we have already looked at the impacts of deforestation in previous lessons, so we'll go over these concepts once again in a bit more detail. In this diagram, you can see the effect that deforestation would have on evapotranspiration. There is also a significant effect of deforestation on runoff. Also, deforestation reduces the amount of infiltration. Perhaps most importantly, as you can see in this diagram, the amount of deep infiltration is decreased, whereas the amount of shallow infiltration is also decreased. This means there will be more water more rapidly flowing into the river network. But the role of forests in preventing flashy floods and impacting the hydrograph does actually start above the ground. A significant amount of precipitation is intercepted or caught by trees themselves. This then can fall later on from the leaf onto the ground through stem flow, which we have already looked at the start of this unit of work, but also evaporate directly off the leaf. In addition, forests actually absorb water from the soil, so they reduce the possibility that the soil is going to become saturated. So you can see, a heavily forested area is an extremely good way to prevent flooding. If you cut down your trees, there will be severe impacts on the flood hydrograph. This, of course, will not come as a surprise to you. And in these two flood hydrographs, where the rainstorm events are exactly the same, you can see the theoretical impact of deforestation. In the diagram on the right, which has clear cut, that is where you cut all of the trees down, there is a pronounced peak discharge. The lag time is shorter, and this river is considerably more flashy. This not only increases the risk of flooding, but also increases the risk of landslide. Do remember that the effects of deforestation will be cumulative or add up as you move downstream. Any upstream impact or change to the river basin as a system will have impacts further down the river. This is a downstream effect, and it is important that you convey your understanding of the river basin as an integrated system. So here you can see quite obviously that there are going to be large impacts of deforestation downstream. Now we have already suggested that we can look at target 15.3, which is build knowledge and capacity to meet climate change. So the case study we're going to look here at the effects of deforestation is in Thailand, and we're going to look at the example of Typhoon Usagi. This left more than 450,000 people in hardship in Thailand. It also caused 176 deaths. Now, of course, the typhoon itself is an important aspect of this disaster. Of course, we can point to the role of global climate change. But if we dig down into this a little bit deeper, we'll soon start to realise that in fact probably the largest single contributory factor is actually deforestation. These factors combine together, but often global warming, global climate change, or a weather event is given more importance than it actually is. Here, deforestation was a significant, probably the largest reason why there was flooding. So the worst affected areas were in the Lamsok district in the mountainous north-central province of Phetchaburi. But here there were massive landslides. It's no coincidence that the largest landslides occurred in the areas with greatest deforestation. ESCAP, which is part of the United Nations, criticised Thailand for ignoring their recommendations to control flash flooding. These recommendations included the decrease of deforestation and the afforestation or reforestation of large areas of Thailand. Unfortunately, many of these recommendations to some extent were ignored. Consequently, unsurprisingly, then, Thailand saw a continued spate of landslides and floodings, highly focused on areas that were mountainous, steep, but also deforested. Geologists at the University of Chulalongkorn told a seminar in August the 27th of the same year that 1,000 Thai villages were at risk of mudslides, mainly due to deforestation. Unfortunately, an official government report put this estimate at just 200. So you can see these conflicts between the two sets of data. This attitude by government does not help to build resilience and capacity into the system and does not help communities to deal with a problem of flooding and landslides. In response to the landslide, the Thai government did start to install, to some extent, early warning systems and public safety campaigns about landslide and flooding. They focused on the most dangerous areas and started to relocate people to safer areas. While these actions are important and useful and undoubtedly have saved lives, unfortunately they do not increase the capacity of a community to deal with flooding. It doesn't actually deal with the problem, it only responds to the symptoms of the problem. It has put forward plans, however, to force timber companies to reforest the area, focusing specifically on areas that are clear-cut or stripped. However, there was no mention made by the Thai government about ongoing or current logging activities, so the activity of logging still remains as a significant issue and challenge for Thailand in the control of its flooding. Recent flooding has had a huge impact on the Thai capital of Bangkok. This is due, of course, to extreme weather events, but is actually mainly due to the massive rates of deforestation further up in the upper course of the river. Remember, the river is a system. Any impact that you have on any impact that you have on the drainage basin will have a downstream effect. A further consideration and complication is that the river system actually crosses over into the Myanmar or Burma countryside. Here there is massive amounts of illegal and totally uncontrolled logging. So Thailand has a particular challenge here. They are going to find it very difficult to fully resolve the issue of flooding because of what the neighbouring country of Myanmar does to their forests. So you can see here that is quite a complicated problem. Hey guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful to tie together different ideas, but also reinforce things that we have already looked at. If you have found this video useful, please give it the thumbs up and a comment. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel.